Hi, what would a school report type thing written about your contract say? Would it get a good grade? Would it get a pass? Would it get a fail? So let's have a look at some of the topics that you might want to deal with in your contracts. English. Is the English in your contract accurate, brief and clear? Or is it a bit waffly, a bit too much chit-chat and not enough focus? That's what I used to get on my school reports. So, maths. Do the maths add up? Do the figures add up? My friend Leonie had a consultancy agreement, and when you tallied up all the different payments across the different months, it didn't make the figure at the bottom. Just that mistake could have cost her thousands of pounds. So check the maths. Does it add up? French. Well, we don't need force majeure in our contracts, so you can get rid of the French. Latin. We don't need Latin in our contracts, so you can get rid of ab initio and mutatis mutandis and all those kind of Latin phrases, beloved of lawyers. Whatever you do, do not copy Latin or French into a contract. It's just not worth it. History. Have you used what's happened to you in the past as a basis for writing a contract for the future? My friend Steve Houghton Burnett talks about the fact that the extent of your paranoia can be measured by the length of your contract. You shouldn't write contracts based on the history of what's happened in the past. Each client is different. Trust them. Only a very small proportion will ever take advantage of a simple contract. So draft it for the people that won't take advantage. How about cookery? Well, there's not much cookery in a contract, although I have done an analogy between baking cakes and contracts, because cakes need 4 simple ingredients: butter, sugar, eggs and flour, and contracts need 4 simple ingredients: scope, terms, aims and risks. So there is an element of cookery in our contract. How about ICT? Well, does your contract really need printing off hard copy, signing wet and scanning and returning? Or could you send a proposal to a client and an email line that just says, if you agree to these terms, please send me an email back saying, yes, we agree, and print your names so that I know who's involved. Or you could use something more electronic, like a job form contract, like the privacy notices on my website. Or you could go the whole hog and go to DocuSign, which is a verifiable electronic signing. So we've got ICT. How about design technology? Well, you might not think there's much design involved, it's just word processing in contracts. But that's not true anymore. We have people like Stefania Passera and the IACCM who are working hard on design thinking and how legal design can change the way we read, understand and use contracts. We know that if you put visuals and flowcharts and timelines and graphs and tables in, people are more likely to read, use and understand them. That's perfect. That helps us avoid disputes. So what else are we missing? Sport. Oh, contracts are not really a sport in the correct sense, but they are a team game. You see, we both have to be heading for the same result, have the same ideas. We're not actually on opposing teams when we're looking at a contract, we're working together in the same direction. So there is an element of sportsmanship behaviours in contracts. So does your contract reek of sportsmanship, or does it reek of opposition? So those are the sort of ways you can measure a contract if you were looking at it from a kind of a school report way. Overall, lacks focus, needs a bit more work, missing a bit of direction. What would your school report say about your contract? Because if it doesn't say A grade, grade 9 or whatever the system you've got for grading is, then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and put a little bit more hard work in to refine the edges.